91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. The incredibly talented Ms. Gail Ann Dorsey, her 2003 release called I Used to Be. And we just heard the track Take Me to Your Love, one of the many great performers coming to the Summer Hoot. And speaking of the Summer Hoot, let's get today's guest on the line. Mike, you with me?
I'm here. Hi.
Hi. Well, thanks for joining us. We're talking with Mike Merenda of The Mammals. And by the way, I just played your track, The Doldrums. That's a good one.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, super fun. That Touchgrass Volume 1, is there a Volume 2?
There is a Volume 2. Yeah, they both came out on the same day, November 1st, 2025.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, that's cool. So, Summer Hoot, how many years you guys been doing this?
We started in 2013. That was our very first hoot. Pete Seeger and Natalie Merchant were on the bill that year. And we also do a winter hoot. I guess the winter hoot preceded the summer hoot, to tell you the truth. That was our testing ground to see the proof of concept. And the small version went well, so we decided to go all in on the summer. So I guess that's, what is it, 2026? So that was 13 years ago. We started twice a year.
That's incredible. Congratulations. It's a big feat to put on not just one festival a year, but two. And, doing your own touring with the Mammals and everything you got going on there. So congratulations. Job well done.
Thank you. Yeah, we love it. And we have this beautiful place to host the festival, which, of course, is the Ashokan Center in Olive Bridge, New York. We're about 20 minutes west of Woodstock. And it's a 185-acre nature preserve that celebrates traditional music and art and environmental education. They host thousands of kids, school kids from the city every year to get them out in the woods and in nature. And, of course, the music programming has been a huge part of Ashokan's story, started back in the early 80s by Ruthie's father, Jay Unger. And I'm actually attending Southern Week. Presently, I'm teaching banjo this week, which we do every August. So I'm sitting on top of Hoot Hill in a break from classes to talk to you.
Oh, and I've been there quite a few times, so I can just imagine how beautiful it is there right this second. And thanks for taking the time out to talk to us about the Summer Hoot. It's a lot of fun there, and the lineup every year just gets more and more like, are you kidding me? So let's really, seriously, it's just growing and growing and growing. So again, folks, hoot.love. First of all, you got to love the name of that website. And August 28th through 30th. You guys also have like camping there. Is there still camping available?
There's still room to camp. We have two campgrounds. One is kind of quiet camping or family camping, and then there's the campground that we call the Magical Musical All Night Campground, where people just like to play music all night. So you can choose your adventure there.
Wow. Oh my gosh. What do you do?
I have a room in the inn, which is behind the main stage. There is some private lodging available. There might be a wait list at this point for the private lodging, but it's worth checking in if you're interested in that. So like I said, there's some artist housing behind the main stage. That's where I end up. We only live 10 minutes down the road, so occasionally I even slip home to feed the chickens and the cats and just stay there.
Right. Now, I know these festivals take a lot of work. We see it on the website and it's so like, there it is. But the work to get it up there is pretty amazing. I know you also depend greatly on volunteers. Talk about that.
Yes. Yeah, we always need volunteers. There's always work to be done. I must say the Hoot, somehow over 13 years, it gets a little easier every year. There were definitely some growing pain years, as there often are with new events.
Sure.
But we have a wonderful team. We always need help with the parking lot or artist transportation, EMTs, all sorts of ways you can be involved. So check it out. I think it's probably hoot.love/volunteers. Just go to the hoot.love, click the volunteer link if you want to be involved.
Yeah. And 3 days of live music in such a beautiful place, the Ashokan Center. Tell us how your father-in-law got wrapped up into that. Wasn't it like a state-owned property or what's the history of that?
Yeah, it's a kind of a cool, long story. I'll try and keep it brief. So this campus used to be called the Ashokan Field Campus. It was owned by SUNY New Paltz, even though New Paltz is a good 40 minutes, 45 minutes away. But it was owned by SUNY New Paltz, and it was a place for students to come and camp or do a ropes course or fish or hunt and just spend some time out in the woods. And during the summer times, it was dormant. So it had kind of 3 season buildings, a dining hall, a rec hall, some classroom spaces. And Jay was just a customer to utilize the campus in the summertime when the students were not present. And he started hosting these fiddle and dance workshops. Ashokan Fiddle and Dance was just his little grassroots project back in the early 80s. And over the decades, became very attached to the place and the history and the community that was born here. And opened the paper one day around 2008, I want to say. It was right around when our first son was born. That's how I marked the date. And it said Ashokan Field Campus sold. And his heart sank because he didn't know had no foreknowledge that this was even in the works. And started asking questions and dialing numbers and getting people on the phone. And before you know it, he had started his own foundation and a nonprofit and was able to not intervene in the sale because the sale eventually fell through, but he became the front runner in reclaiming the property for their purposes. So they kept the music programs going, which was kind of the first priority, and decided to keep the environmental education programs that SUNY New Paltz had started going as well. So they just kind of took over the place, had to rebuild the campus on high ground eventually, and now it's a thriving environmental ed and music center.
Amazing.
That Jay and Molly are the president and vice president of the board.
Amazing.
Yeah.
AshokanCenter.org. And you really do have really versatile programming, not just music. You have everything else too. And it's just a really hidden gem because it's so like in the woods. It's Olive Bridge. It's not far, like Woodstock area, but yet it's just like off the beaten path, just enough to have to have it be a little bit special and of its own. Now, your lineup for this summer hoot looks like headliners. I mean, the Milk Carton Kids. Wow, amazing!
I know. Yeah, they're one of my favorite bands on the circuit of bands that are my peers of our generation. They're kind of, if you don't know them, to your listeners, they're kind of our generation Simon and Garfunkel. Heavily informed by Gillian Welsh and David Rollins. They do a songwriting camp a little further west every summer called Sad Songs Summer Camp that Ruthie and I have been lucky to teach at every year since 2019. So we've gotten to know them really well over the years, and it's been a dream to present them at the Hoot. They're definitely a hot commodity, and honestly, they were a little bit out of our budget for a long time, but as the Hoot has grown over the years, we've finally reached a place where we can spend a little money on really amazing headliners. So Milk Carton Kids are debuting Friday night at the Hoot on the 28th, the same night as Tuba Skinny from New Orleans, who has played, I think they played 2 years ago, and they're a big hit anywhere they play.
Anywhere.
They love to get out of they love to get out of Louisiana in the summertime and come north. So they do bop around the Northeast in August, and I noticed that. And I was lucky to get them in 2024, and they're back this year they're opening the main stage on Friday night and then playing a dance set around 11:30 down in the dance pavilion. So they're doing 2 sets that night.
Wow. So you're starting off Friday with the Milk Carton Kids and Tuba Skinny.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Holy moly.
Friday's going to be bonkers.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. Now, people also can go just for a day. You don't have to go for 3 days. It's, just want to do Friday night. You want to do the whole weekend. You have passes for the whole weekend. You can camp. You can drive in. You can drive out. You can do all of that stuff.
That's right. And to up the ante even more, because we don't want anyone to feel like they can't come for lack of funds. We encourage people to buy advance tickets at the gate to support the event, and so we can have a good head count of who's coming. But if that's not in your budget, please come anyway, and it's pay what you can at the gates.
I love that. Thank you for that. I think that is that does not happen often. And I commend you guys for continuing that because you started it that way as well. And that's
Yes.
something that you have not stopped in all these 13 years. And I think that really means a lot to the community that's around here. So,
Yeah,
um,
so you can pop in for a couple hours. You can come hear the favorite band you want to hear. You can come for the weekend or anything in between.
yeah, no, beautiful. And then, of course, you guys are playing the Mammals.
Mammals play Saturday night. Yeah, that's kind of we've settled into closing Saturday night on the main stage, and for a long time, when we had to play was the hardest part of the festival for me because we're running around setting it up for
Sure.
weeks, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, I gotta change my clothes and take a shower and have lights pointed at me. But now we have such a good team that the performance part has become a lot easier and really fun. And there's nothing like a mammal set at a hoot because there's just all these people who've been listening to us for years and love us and sing along to every word like nowhere else we play. So it's definitely a highlight of the year.
It's home.
It is home. Yep, it's our big hometown show. In fact, we don't do too many other Hudson Valley shows throughout the year because we're already playing two hoots a year,
Yeah.
and you can only play so much in any market. So the hoots are definitely our big homecoming shows.
Yeah, yeah, and the people are there and they know it, and yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
great. You guys have such a great following. The Mammals, of course, you and your bride, Ruthie Unger. Who else is in the band with you now?
Right now, we have a completely New York State, Hudson Valley based band. We have Scott Malisi playing keyboards with us.
Amazing.
He was born and raised in New Paltz. Tim Morrison is our drummer, brother of Brandon Morrison, and who people might know from The Restless Age
Yeah.
and many other projects. Tim grew up in Philmont, New York, a little north of where I live. And Jude Roberts is playing bass with us, a wonderful singer-songwriter in his own right, who was born in Nyack and grew up in Poughkeepsie. So we
Ah,
have a through and through, I guess apart from me, who grew up in New Hampshire, but Ruthie grew up in West Hurley, New York. So we're a New York State band.
yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. The Mammals. Wow, that's great. Yeah, I see your photo on hoot.love, which is where all this info is where listeners should go to. And again, we're talking about the summer hoot happening August 28th through 30th. And then you have one of my favorites. Anyone that knows me knows how much I literally adore Gail Ann Dorsey.
Oh, right on. Yeah, she's playing on Sunday. It'll be her first. I think she's come to hang out at Hoots before, but I don't think we've ever had her on the stage. Actually, the only time she was part of a Hoot was when we did a live stream. We called it a Hoot from Home. It was a winter Hoot, and she was part of that event. But this will be her first time boots on the ground on stage, and that's really exciting for us as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's was with Bowie for over a decade as his bassist. Played with Lenny Kravitz, Tears for Fears, Pink, and the list goes on and on. And I think she's just been on the road with Seal. And she's just such a beautiful human being. Never mind her
Yeah.
accolades, but she's just a really, really solid.
Yeah, and of course, her bass playing is legendary, and that's what people know her for. But her voice is just absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see her not supporting someone else, but singing her own songs and really, really shining with
Yeah.
that beautiful voice.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And then you've got Chatham County Line.
Yeah, do you know those guys?
I don't.
They're all the way from North Carolina, and the Mammals would cross paths with them at festivals all over the country. So we became kind of festival friends. We wouldn't see them too often, but whenever we did, we would appreciate each other's sets and maybe play some music backstage together. We did a show with them last fall down in Charlottesville, Virginia, and kind of rekindled that friendship. And I thought, man, you guys should really come play a hoot. And they were game. So they'll be making a hoot debut. But they are one of the best Americana bands you'll ever hear in the true sense of the word. It's mandolin, pedal steel, guitar, bass, and drums. And they're kind of unsung heroes, I would say, for the Americana scene because they've been at it a long time. And they'll definitely drop some jaws because they're as professional and as dialed in as a band can be.
Amazing. Yeah. Now, I when I saw this lineup, I'm like, what is going on here? This is crazy. Seriously, so good. And you got the big takeover. I mean, so much fun. You can't sit still when they're on stage.
Yeah, they've played a lot of hoots over the years. Of course, they're a local Hudson Valley reggae band, one of the best in the business. And they're kind of a fixture at the Hoot. Anytime they're available, we want to have the big takeover because they're so much fun. And again, they're local favorites, and they always bring an incredible party.
Yeah, they really, really, really do. And like I said, you cannot sit still when they're playing. It's just so much fun and such a great beat, and it's just lively and fun. It's fun.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
you've got your in laws, the
Yep.
legendaries, Jay Unger and Molly Mason, of course.
Yep. They
Yeah.
play every year,
Yep.
and they'll be playing again this year, I believe, on Sunday. They play right before another legend from the 60s, which is Jim Queskin of the Jim
Yes.
Queskin Jug Band. So Jay remembers Jim from way back in the day. It'll be cool to see them kind of reunited under one bill. So, yeah, Jay and Molly, of course, are treasures of the Hudson Valley and saved this whole property and kept the programming going, as I told you earlier. So their performances here are always very heartfelt. And one of the things I think they enjoy about the Hoot is it's one of the events that they don't have to organize themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Ruthie and I take the reins on this one. And even though they're pretty much at Ashokan year round, day in and day out, this isn't an opportunity for them to appreciate the place being used for music, but they didn't have to program. So they can kind of sit back and watch it unfold and, of course, participate and perform. But it has a life outside of them. I think they really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really cool. It's great that you're doing that. And then you guys always somehow play together with your in-laws, right? You get the whole
Yeah.
family up there and do
Yep.
your thing. Yeah.
And of course, our kids are now at an age where they're starting to join. Our son is a great bass player. Our daughter
Oh,
Opal plays some trumpet and some violin herself. And our son's band is actually playing the Hoot this year. They're called Picnic Committee.
I love it.
Three of them. It's a trio: Atomic Chornock, Milo Lieberman, and Will Merenda. They're all graduates from Onteora this year, and they're best friends. And they have this really great '90s sounding indie rock band that it's been really neat to see them evolve over the last 3 years since they've started. They rehearse at our house, so we hear them all the time.
Love it.
And I just finished recording their debut album
Yay.
this summer, so they should have a new single in time for the Hoots. We're just finishing it up now, but that's really exciting. They're an excellent band,
Please
and they're
send it
playing
to
late
me.
night Friday.
Play
I will.
me,
As
play
soon as
me.
it's available, you'll
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. I definitely yeah, I definitely will give it a spin. Isn't it exciting to see your children just take on music as much as you love it?
Yeah, it's pretty outrageous. Like
Yeah.
I said, I've been helping them record this new album because we have a really wonderful recording studio at our house, and to see how good they are is kind of mind blowing for me. I mean, I knew they were good, but to be in the studio with them and just setting up the mics and then letting them kind of strut their stuff has been really inspiring because they're quite good. This next generation of musicians they're really shining.
Yeah, yeah, it's really wonderful to see and to witness and to watch because it could go other way. Even though they grew up with musical family, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to, take that up. But it's
100%.
kind of cool when they do. So congratulations on that. That's really sweet. And Jim
Thank you.
Queskin, yeah, legend. I mean, wow, that's going to be amazing. And
Yep.
I don't know Furnace Mountain.
Furnace Mountain is one of the country's best old time string bands. They're from down in Virginia, near Furnace Mountain. That's where they get their name from.
Okay.
And they were up here probably 2 years ago as well. They were recommended to us by our square dance caller, Megan Downs, who also is the dance troupe leader for the Appalachian traditional dance group, the City Stompers. They're a fixture at the Hoot every year, and they have different musicians back them up. And Megan said Furnace Mountain is one of her favorite bands to dance to. So they're going to be backing up the clogging troupe and also doing their own set. And they draw from traditional Appalachian string band music, but they also write their own songs. They do some really interesting covers and sing beautiful harmony. If you want a little taste of Furnace Mountain, if you go to the Hoot.Love Pewter Shop sessions, which are little acoustic sessions that we film in a beautiful room every year, their Pewter Shop session from 2004 is a really exquisite version of a pretty cool Bob Dylan song that I listen to all the time.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yep,
really cool. That's really
yep,
cool. And
yep.
yeah, it's so let me just step back before we announce another band or two. So, Mike Miranda of the Mammals, you play guitar and you also sing. How did you get into all this music?
Oh, that's a great question. At this point I play guitar, the banjo, and sing. And when people ask me what I do, I generally lead with I'm a songwriter because I think that's my strongest suit and that's my biggest passion. That's how I got into it. Is when I was 14, a new kid moved to town named Chris Wiseman, and he was really shy and no one was really talking to him, and we became friends. And eventually he was coming over to the house, and I had a guitar my uncle gave me just kicking around. I had no idea what to do with, but Chris played some guitar and he taught me C, F, and G, and I was literally writing songs that very night. Like
Wow.
it's like he kind of handed me this skeleton key that unlocked a door that I didn't even know I wanted to open. But as soon as I had those chords, songwriting came really naturally to me. I was inspired by Chris. We were writing songs together and sharing them with each other. And I feel like I'm just kind of still doing that as I turned 50 years old this year.
Oh,
And it's still my
congratulations.
process. I just use the simple chords and make up songs. Try to just keep that direct connection to the ether and just let the songs come through me. So that's kind of how I got into it. I just fell in love with songwriting. I always loved music, and I loved all the parts of school that weren't school, like
Yep.
being in plays and
Yep.
being in bands, being on sports teams, all the extracurricular stuff. And I remember saying to myself, which of these things that I love so much will I be able to parlay the longest in my life? And I guess hockey was kind of the first to go. And then theater kind of fell by the wayside because it's even harder to make a living doing theater than it is
Sure.
music.
Yep.
And music, somehow, I was able to find a way to keep making music my whole life and make a career out of it and build a family around it. So
It's beautiful.
it's kind of some just following your bliss and trusting your instincts and maybe being in the right place at the right time. But I do feel blessed that I'm still writing songs and people listen to them. And all it took was a friend showing me a couple chords when I was just a teenager.
It's amazing how sometimes people just come into your life and it's just it could change your whole being, your whole like trajectory of like where things
Yeah.
are going to go. And how did you meet your wife Ruthie Unger?
So, like I said, I was into the theater through my college years. I studied theater at Bowdoin College in Maine, and I did a semester in London. And I thought that was going to be my track as a playwright and a screenwriter and a director. I never really liked being on stage. I was more interested in making the creations and then seeing someone else perform them, and being a director and pulling the strings from behind the scenes. But Ruthie and I met through a theater performance, a play that I wrote. She got called in last minute to be the lighting operator because somebody canceled. And a friend of hers from Bard College locally, that's where she went,
Yep.
saw us next to each other just at a little after party, and the light bulb went off over their head and said, "Oh my God, you guys should be singing together," because they knew how great a singer Ruthie was from her Bard days, even though that wasn't something she was pursuing. And they knew that I wrote songs. And so the guitar came out, and I started singing one of my songs. And by the second chorus, she was singing this incredible harmony that
Wow.
no one else would think of. And I guess the rest is history. So
Oh,
we started as theater friends. And once the guitar came out, there was a certain alchemy and magic that kind of far surpassed anything we were doing in the theater. We
amazing.
realized this is probably something we should pursue. So
Amazing.
that was 1998
Wow.
in New York City.
Wow.
And
28
eventually,
28 years
yeah,
ago.
28 years ago. And eventually, um, we bopped around a little bit. We lived in Western Massachusetts for a couple of years because I was playing drums in a band called Spouse that was based out of there. That was my college band. Eventually, we ended up moving back to West Hurley, where Ruthie grew up, to the house she grew up in. And that's where we are to this day.
Amazing. Beautiful love story. Half of your lives, and you're only 50. That's pretty unique. And
We're lucky.
yeah,
We're blessed, especially since most bands, most people who are in couples in bands aren't necessarily in the band with their partner. And so there's a lot of longing to be home and long stretches of tours where you're missing your family. And somehow we kind of cheated the system by getting to take each other and our kids along for the ride.
Yeah, and just travel the world doing it. And speaking of which, after the hoot, there's no rest for the weary here. You guys are doing this fall tour as well. So people can go to mammals.love and you'll be, looks like in Massachusetts, in your home state of New Hampshire, going down to Maryland, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina. You're going to be in Florida. Yeah, I mean, just when to get out of Dodge and go into the warmth of.
we, yeah, we love being on the road, and we're selective about it because we have been raising kids, and they, we have respect for their lives and their friends, and not wanting to be just on the road all the time. So, but now that they're getting a little older, we can stretch out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And, we love being on the road, and we love touring the South actually a lot, especially since a lot of the music we play, even though we do a lot of our own originals as a band fronted by a fiddle player, I feel like the South really understands fiddle culture and the tradition that a lot of our music draws from.
Sure.
So we have really unique shows down there that resonate differently based on the influences that we bring forth.
Yeah, well, it's all Appalachia. It's a whole different style down there that they just do get it a little bit differently than I think the North does. So, yeah.
Yeah, and even though we're not a straight ahead Appalachian string band, a lot of our repertoire is inspired by that sound and that pulse. And so, it just resonates uniquely down there.
Yeah, it fits in nicely. You're also going to be playing back in Kingston, New York, opening for the Waylon Jennings on November 19th at the Ulster Performing Arts Center. That's pretty cool.
Yep, that's pretty exciting. We go way back with them. Again, like we've played festivals all over the world and in North America, and Canadian festivals are some of the best in the world. And that's where we met the Waylon Jennings. Heather Massey from that band lived in Ackgorge, New York for a long time, and her husband is one of my best friends from New Hampshire.
Oh.
And so we have some pretty deep roots with the Waylon Jennings. And I don't know if it's been announced yet, but we'll also be at the O Positive Festival in Kingston in October.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's another good one. Yeah, that's another good one. We're lucky here in the Hudson Valley, aren't we?
There's no shortage of music to be checked out. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I always tell people within almost any day of the week, you drive 30, 40 minutes and you've got world-class music. It's just, it's pretty remarkable. So we're pretty lucky.
Well, and thanks for all you do to spread the word about it.
Oh my gosh, it's a joy. Are you kidding? It's like my biggest thing is when people call me up and say, "Hey, I went to that show," or "I did." That's that's where it's at. This is where unity comes in, is where we have music and everybody's just on the same page. And it's really needed. The arts are so important. So
yeah, and even if outside of the venue, we don't we never expect everyone to agree on everything.
Right.
But when you're at the show and you're having a common experience, music does seem to dissolve a lot of boundaries and just allow for everyone to kind of let go and just enjoy the experience and being present. Everyone's always so distracted with the news and their phones these days, but a live concert experience is kind of a sacrament in our culture that I think isn't going away anytime soon.
Absolutely. I always say it's my weekly therapy session when I go see live music. You feed off the band, the audience, you guys get fed from the audience. It's just, I don't know, there's just something about it, man. It's live music is where it's at. Now, tell me about the City Stompers, which is going to be part of the Hoot as well.
Yeah, they're the Appalachian clogging troupe. They perform basically every year now. We've settled into a beautiful routine with them. They're based out of Brooklyn. Some of their members live up here. Nicole Ball is one of their dancers, and she lives in Kingston, New York. They're just a hard-driving, percussive dance troupe. If you've never seen live percussive dance, it's something to see. They wear tap shoes. They pound on the stage. We actually mic the stage from underneath so you can really hear the impact of what their feet are doing. And again, Furnace Mountain backs them up. So it's old school Appalachian entertainment and with kind of a New York energy. And Megan Downs has been part of the Hoot since the very beginning. She's our square dance caller. There's always a big square dance. No experience necessary at the Hoot
Love that.
Saturday night. So she's our caller. She's very gracious and patient with people who've never done it before. So we love having Megan, and the City Stompers is sort of her baby that she's been fostering for a long time.
Oh, super fun. Super fun. And then I see this beautiful cello that's being held by Jordan Hamilton.
He's a really unique talent. He's out of Michigan, and there's a really rich musical community, especially for folk music out of Michigan. They a lot of festivals were started in Michigan that are still going to this day, that have been running for 50 or 60 years. And so there's a lot of multi-generational families that have grown up going to these festivals, and it shows with the talent that comes out of that state that we've been blessed to rub elbows with over the years. They also have Interlochen up in northern Michigan, which is more of a classical music
Yes.
educational center. And so Jordan kind of has a foot in both of those worlds. He's
Love
a
that.
classically trained cellist who basically writes hip hop, but is drawing from classical and hip hop and folk roots. And he's come in the past as a duo with a singer-songwriter pal of ours named Seth Bernard. And this time he asked if he could come back with his own trio. So I've seen Jordan, and I've seen him melt faces with his cello, both on the main stage and for more experimental late-night sets, which he asked if he could do again. But I've never seen him with his own trio, so that's going to be really exciting.
Super exciting. Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. I love that you have a lot of the same people coming back and then doing it a little differently. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
Johnny Irion, I mean, awesome.
Yep, Johnny, we go way, way back with. He was in a duo with Sarah Lee Guthrie for, I think, 25 years.
Yeah.
And an incredible songwriter, great storyteller, great dobro and guitar player, really wonderful producer of other people, too. He's got an incredible recording studio at his Berkshire Mountain home. So Johnny's like family. He's also really tight with Chatham County Line. He grew up in North Carolina, where they're from. So he kind of grew up with those guys. And when he saw that they were coming up to play the Hoot, he asked if he could play too, because he mostly just wanted to hang out with the guys.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So, of course, we're happy to oblige. So Johnny's an old friend, great songwriter, and he'll probably end up sitting in with Chatham County Line as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah. I've seen him play quite a few times. It's really good. You've got the picnic committee.
Yep, that's our son's
That's your
band.
son. That's amazing.
Yep.
I was just like, wait a minute. He looks familiar because I follow you guys on socials. Look at that. That's amazing.
Yep.
Have they played out publicly before?
They've played a bit. Like I said, they just graduated high school, but they've played around. They've played at Bard College. They've played this thing called the Red Hook DIY that some student friends have put together. They've opened for the Mammals. They opened for the Mammals at Colony in Woodstock last May. In fact, I told you I'm working on their studio album that's almost done. Should be out this fall. But they did release their set from opening up for us at Colony, live at Colony. You can check out that at bandcamp.com/picnic committee if you want a little picnic committee taste. They're really good. Their influences are deep. They listen to a lot of music. They all grew up doing Rock Academy in Woodstock, and so they've got great chops. They learn covers very quickly and really internalize them and make the music their own. So they, like I said, they really impress me as 18-year-olds. They're just kind of coming into the height of their powers. And instead of playing other people's music at Rock Academy, they're writing their own songs. And they're doing a late night set Friday nights, partly because they played last year and a couple of them are going to college, and Will's moving to the West Coast for a while.
Oh.
And so while they're going to circle back and keep the band going, I couldn't pass the opportunity to have them play another Hoot before they get on with
Oh, my
the fall.
God. How's Mom and Daddy going to do with that one, huh? That's a tough move. But,
yeah,
hey.
Yeah, it's a big one. I'm hoping he's going to be bi-coastal and back and forth a bit.
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to envision. But, yeah, it's far away.
It is far. I think the biggest gift we give our children is their wings to fly, but it's the hardest on the parents, that's for sure. So, yeah. But
Indeed. No, but picnic committee is awesome, and this is going to be kind of a kind of a farewell celebration for now while they go pursue their own paths and come back together whenever they're able.
Absolutely, which is as it should be. And then you have Nate the Great.
Yeah, if folks haven't seen Nate the Great, he is a world class juggler and comedian out of Ithaca, New York. He was brought as a guest probably 5 or 6 years ago now by Tony Duncan, who was a juggler we met at the Clearwater Festival, who did a whole bunch of hoots in the early days. Tony brought Nate, and Nate blew everybody's mind. He does fire juggling. He does you name it, he can juggle it. He always involves the audience. He's very funny. So he's basically become a staple of the hoot. It's one of my favorite parts of the weekend is the Nate set. And of course, he's wandering around juggling and down in the kids zone and just really bringing revelry to
I
the
wanted
event.
to bring this out also that this is very family friendly. This
Yep,
festival, the Hoot. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, it's bring the kids. Is you encourage it.
100%.
Yeah,
Yep, bring the kids. It's a very safe place. Everyone kind of looks after the kids communally in a sense.
yeah,
Kids can really run free here
yeah.
and have a great time. There's an incredible kids zone with activities and crafts
And,
and
and you have
it's really built for the kids because when we started the festival, our kids were young,
yeah.
so we built it. We built it for multi-generational happiness.
Yeah, and it's cool because everybody is happy, and you also have an arm of the sea theater, which I mean, I when my daughter was young, she's
Yep.
25 now. They've been around for a long time. They're
Yeah, if you
amazing.
don't know them, if your listeners don't know them, they do kind of larger than life puppetry experiences on a very large scale. So like 10, 15-foot puppets. And they generally tell stories about Hudson Valley and Hudson River ecology. So it's educational, it's artistic, and it's entertaining. And there's obviously a musical component, um, not to be missed. They're Saturday morning this year. In years past, they've been Sunday, but the schedule put them on Saturday this year.
hmm And the schedule and the full lineup and all the details of this amazing festival now in its 13 years, it can be found at hoot.love. You're on the socials as well. And really, congratulations, Mike, and for just doing this amazing event that people really look forward to. You'll have one in February coming up. February, August, kind of just, bookend it. They every
Yep.
6 months is what you've got going on here. And I just want to play a little bit of music of some of your performers. I've already played the Mammals and I've played Gail. I'm going to play some Milk Carton Kids and some Tuba Skinny and just get some people out there. I mean, you know, great,
Awesome.
great event. August 28th through 30th, hoot.love. And what did we miss? Was there something else you wanted to say about the Hoot before I play some music?
No, I think we covered it. Like I said, come for an hour, come for the whole weekend. You can camp. There might be some private lodging available. There's, of course, the main stage performances, but then there's several artists are doing intimate pewter shop concerts as well. So if the schedule doesn't allow for you to see them on the main stage, you can check out the pewter shop. There's a big bonfire sing-along on Saturday nights on top of Hoot Hill. There's the square dance. There's some indoor programming as well. There's a band called, they just changed their name. The members of David Wax Museum are
Oh,
now touring as the Golden Hours, and they are doing a unique performance where the audience is completely blindfolded while they do their set and wander around the room. So it's like a sensory deprivation experience. That's in the music hall on Saturday. So there's loads more stuff that we haven't even had time to mention. So there's stuff to discover and explore. Even if you just go for a hike in the woods, Ashokan is a beautiful place to explore. There are nature hikes that are offered that are guided. There's a swimming hole. It's kind of a celebration of the end of summer, but it's a big blowout. Very relaxed, very safe, very family friendly, and very affordable.
very affordable. Also, lots of parking. You don't have to worry about anything. They'll guide you. There's fields, and it's just this beautiful view, and there's water, and it's just such a relaxing place, such a great vibe. So congratulations to you and Ruthie for doing all this, because again, it's a lot of work. And then the Mammals, you guys got a great tour coming up, so go check out the Mammals website and go see them perform live, because you guys put on one hell of a show. But first things first, the Hoot, August 28th through 30th, hoot.love for info about that. And I'm just going to say I thank you for your time. I've recorded this interview. I'll upload it later, share it with you guys, and want to play some music. And I wish you a great, great festival, and thanks for bringing all this great music to the Hudson Valley.
Hey, we're grateful. Thanks for supporting us all these years, Rita.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And send me Will's music.
I definitely will.
All
definitely
right.
will. You'll be the first person to get it.
I love it. I'll love it. I'll premiere it right here on WVKR. Greetings to Ruthie, and you guys go have some fun and continue doing what you're doing. Thanks for your time. Okay.
Take care.
Be well. Bye. 91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Mike Merenda from The Mammals. Hoot at the Ashokan Center in Olive Bridge, New York. Super, super fun weekend, August 28th through 30th. Info at hoot.love. Here is one of the headliners that'll be there Friday night, the Milk Carton Kids, here on 91.3.
I'm crazy for taking so long. It's hard to say what I mean sometimes, and I don't want it coming out wrong. It's just that I can't understand why we can't live forever. Why happiness passes so easily by. The pain, it hurts more than ever. Smile for a picture, gather round the room. Put your arms around me like you always do. I want to stay here forever, I do. Blinded and smiling, holding on to you. Would you say I always make such a big deal out of nothing? Everything seems like a dream sometimes, and I'm afraid of what's coming. So you raise your glass and you toast to the end of the world. Everyone laughs and the cameras flash, and I wish the earth wouldn't hurt. Smile for a picture, gather round the room. Put your arms around me like you always do. I want to stay here forever, I do. Blinded and smiling, holding on to you. Blinded and smiling. about a girl of mine. Now, if I give her my money, she lay awake day and night. If she love other man and that don't treat me right, well, it ain't nobody's business. Said it ain't nobody's business. Ain't nobody's business, baby, but mine.
91.3 WVKR. Man, are they fun. The Big Takeover. We just heard Get It, the album called Spilling Water. We also heard Tuba Skinny, their track called Nobody's Business off the album Hot Town.